Am I the idiot for not letting my sister walk down the aisle at my wedding? I, female 29, am getting married to the love of my life, male 30, in a few months. We were high school lovers and childhood friends. He's truly my best friend and everything I want in life. However, we both decided to wait until we were well off to be married, so we could have our once-in-a-lifetime magical moment. My sister, Stacy, female 21, got married at 19 to someone who I like, but I'm not super close with. They were together for 5 months before he proposed. Their wedding was rushed, and half our family couldn't even make it because of how soon it was planned and set up. It was small, and just in a courtroom. No dress, party, etc., just a legal wedding. However, my wedding is around $19,000, and we haven't even finished everything. It took us ages to set everything up and save. Stacy recently came up to me while coming over, we're close, and have dinner once a week at my place, and asked if she could walk down my aisle and meet her husband, so she could feel like a bride. I laughed and asked if she was serious, and she was. She claims she never got her magic moment, and just wants to feel special once. But, it's my wedding and my special day, she had hers. Stacy claims it will only be between us, and it won't take away from me. But then I asked what she might wear and she showed me pictures on her phone of wedding dresses. Hard no for me. She then asked again yesterday in front of my fiancé, and I think it was an attempt to pressure me. He laughed and said no, thinking it was a joke, like I did the first time. My mother and Stacy's husband say I'm being an idiot because Stacy still isn't rich, so she can't afford another wedding even if she wanted one, but neither are I and my future husband. We just planned for years. I just wanted one day for myself, but maybe I'm blowing it up because she never got the bridal experience. Now for a few comments before the update. Not the idiot, there is no conceivable universe where her walking down the aisle on your wedding day, at the location of your wedding, wearing a wedding dress will be just between the two of you, and not detract from your day. It's rude of her to even ask. Comment 2. NTA, I see stuff like this on this sub, and I am shocked that people have the audacity to even ask stuff like this. It doesn't matter if she's your sister, and her moment wasn't what she had hoped for. If you allow this, then your moment will be different than you imagined it to be too. Your sister and her husband made their choices. They could have waited, but they didn't. Then the original poster responded with, I asked her when she accepted his proposal if she was sure it was a good idea, since it seemed really rushed. But her response was that since my BF proposed a few weeks earlier, she wanted to get hers over with and tie the knot, so that I would be able to have my wedding in the fall, like I always dreamed, and hers wouldn't overlap. Now for the update. The day after I made the post, me, my fiancée, Stacy, and her husband met up for brunch. I told her she needed to hear me out fully before she spoke, and thankfully she did. In short, I told her as much as I love her, I've waited years for this day, and it was mine. She had hers, and if she truly wanted she could have used the money I gifted her to get her own wedding. Her husband cut me off and said that they needed the money for rent, but she didn't let him talk. I showed her the Reddit post, and she started crying, and asked her husband and my fiancé to step out for a few minutes. They both did, and she told me her husband and our mom had been the ones pressuring her, since she had admittedly been jealous, and told them both she wished she could have a larger scale wedding. She said she had been over the whole thing, until her husband started saying it wasn't fair because he was jealous he couldn't provide for her, and eventually complained enough she asked to walk down the aisle for him. Stacy said she was willing to fully back out of the wedding, and would understand given the heartache she's given me, but I told her that her husband would be the one without an invite, which she gratefully agreed to. We talked more in depth on why she was jealous, and she said she regretted being married so early just so our father could be at her wedding. After a few more minutes and both of us crying and forgiving one another, I told her she could always tell me anything, even if it was between her and her husband. When my fiancée and her husband came back in, I told Stacy's husband he was uninvited, right then and there, and he seemed to understand why immediately, though he did groan about it, and called me multiple times, but I blocked him. Again, over the past few days, our mother has called to apologize, and me and Stacy have been talking much more openly and honestly to one another. I decided to let her wear a dark silver or pale gold dress, to match my theme, and walk with me down the aisle, as my father sadly can't. She told me I didn't need to, but I insisted. We ended up finding a dress we both love, and I got it as a gift for her. Thank you all for the support and kind words. Comment 1. Your brother-in-law is a piece of work. He feels jealous because he can't provide for her, but he's comfortable forcing others to provide? And not even necessities, but luxuries. What an entitled age. OP, stay close to your sister. She has already given you signs that she's not happy in her marriage and may need your support to get out of it. Then the original poster responded with, yes, I'll be keeping him close enough to keep an eye on him, but not too close. He's not a horrible guy, Just very bad with money and hot-tempered. I hoped with age he would mellow out, but I'm not sure. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Unbelievable. What kind of monster are you? Your poor sister, Stacy, is just asking for a small slice of the happiness that you've been carefully planning for yourself, and you shove it in her face? She got married at a young age, without any pomp and grandeur, and she's feeling left out now, and rightfully so. You say you both aren't rich, but you're investing $19,000 in your wedding. Clearly, you have a skewed idea of what not rich means. And honestly, how dare you deny her a chance to experience the grandeur of a wedding that she never got to have? As if the shame of having a rushed wedding wasn't enough, you're rubbing her face in it by planning your grand event and then denying her the tiniest moment of feeling special. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not going to my sister's wedding? Some background. I met the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. We became friends because of our shared hobbies, and somehow I got lucky enough that we started dating 6 months ago. About a week into dating, she told me that she was trans, male to female. I accepted this and had no problem with dating her. She was happy, and as I've said, me and female 17 have been dating for 6 months. She has met my family multiple times, and about a month ago she told them she was trans as well. Everyone accepted, or if they didn't, they kept their mouths shut. Everyone except one. My sister, female 24, got huffy and started to ignore my GF. She asked me later how I expected to have kids one day if I was dating a fake woman. I told her to shut up and I don't want kids anyway. She got quiet, and that was that. My sister's wedding is in 3 months, and she sent out invites to RSVP a few days ago. Everyone is allowed to bring a +1. I choose my GF and send in the RSVP. Today she came by, and while hanging out with my parents she told me my GF couldn't come. When I asked why, she said, and I quote, "I don't want the delusional boy at my wedding." At first I wondered why she thought I was delusional, and then I realized she was talking about my GF. I told her to take that back, and she said she's only speaking the truth. I called her a transphobe and said that either me and my GF go or I don't go at all. She said she's not letting that creep into my wedding. So I said to not expect me there either. She laughed like she thought I wouldn't follow through with it. But I withdrew my RSVP and threw her wedding gift in the trash. Now she's pissed and is getting everyone else involved. My parents are staying neutral. My sister's fiancé is actually on my side, love that guy, along with my uncle. My aunt and cousins are on my sister's side, and some are pressuring me to go because it's my sister's big day. Others want me to just keep the peace, and my aunt was just as transphobic as my sister. My GF said I don't have to destroy my relationship with my sister over her, but I told her that if my sister was like this then it would have ended someday anyway, so it might as well be now. But I'm wondering, am I the idiot for splitting the family up between supporting me and supporting my sister now? For a few comments before the update. Not the idiot even if your GF wasn't in the picture, it's your sister's wedding. She has every right to say who is invited and who isn't. However, I think your sister forgot that you have every right not to attend. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Maybe one day you'll feel a twinge of regret for not going because your relationship with your sister grew and evolved. But you'll never regret standing by your values and principles, and that is what you're doing here. It's less about your GF not being invited and more about the transphobia and disrespect your sister is showing another human being. Now for the update. So it's been about a month since I posted, and it's been a fun one. So my sister received a couple of ultimatums. The first was from her fiancé, who told her that if she didn't apologize for how she acted and what she said, that he would call off the wedding. She half-asked it, but I accepted it because she's annoying enough already. In my previous post people believed my parents were transphobic for not taking a side, but they aren't. They have been nothing but kind to my GF. Me and my sister are their only kids and they want grandkids. I never want kids, and I've made this clear. My sister wants a big family, and my parents have reasoned that I'd throw a kid out for being gay and or trans so that they could take them in if that ever happened. My parents asked me if they would be okay with them going to her wedding. I gave them my blessing, which felt weird ASFNGL, and they gave my sister an ultimatum. Either she invites me or they don't go. She relented and re-invited me, but not my GF, so I'm still not going, but my parents will. I'm fine with this compromise. My parents have set aside some money and told me to take my GF on a nice date that night, so my plan is to take her to dinner, and then we get to see a movie opening night. My sister's wedding fell on the same day as the movie, so it all worked out, I guess. Me and my GF are still together. She's currently wrecking people in Smash with me while I type this. All in all, life is good. After her apologies, I have gone no contact with my sister. I unfortunately haven't been in contact with her fiancé, which sucks because I've known him since I was little, but I have a feeling he understands. Anyway, that's the update. Have a damn good one, guys. Comment 1. The idea that your parents are ready to take in a grandkid if your sister kicks them out is kinda terrifying, in the sense that they know this is a possibility. Your sister sounds like the worst, and I really hope things work out for you and your GF. Comment 2. Good for you. I don't really understand why people care what is in someone else's pants. Regardless, weddings in my experience are a waking nightmare, so this might turn out to be a backhanded favor. Now, for the next story. Would I be the idiot if I go on vacation instead of my brother's wedding? My brother Tom, male 36, and I, female 26, have never had a really solid relationship. Due to our age gap, we didn't spend much time, and by the time I was old enough to develop a personality, he was moved out of the house. For the last 2 years, my brother and his fiancée Sarah, female 32, have been planning their wedding. And it's coming up in September. I was asked to be a bridesmaid. I figured I was only asked as a courtesy since I'm her soon-to-be sister-in-law, but I still took it seriously. I have been a bridesmaid for the last 2 years. Just a few weeks ago, I managed to save up to buy the $800 bridesmaid dress. Overall, in the last 2 years, between group outings to parties, dinners, lunches, clothes, etc., I spent thousands of dollars. Eventually, all the girls in the wedding and I became extremely close, and I started to get hyped for the wedding. Sarah recently got close with her brother's wife Becky, 30F. Last week she dropped the ball on me that she no longer wants me to be a bridesmaid, and she would prefer if Becky would take my place. It broke my heart a little, but it's her wedding and it's not my place to tell her how to run it, so I said it was fine. Yesterday I went to my brother's house to pick up the bridesmaid's dress, and was going to see if I could return it since it was within the time frame. Sarah was completely appalled and said that Becky was going to wear it since she and I are the same size. I said that would be fine, but they would have to pay me the $800 for it. Sarah said that Becky couldn't afford it, and I should just be nice and let her use it, and said that I could keep it after the wedding. I explained that I'm not just giving away the dress, and I'm not ever going to use it after the wedding. After some bickering back and forth, I just ended up taking it and leaving. My brother and Sarah tried to compromise with me and say I could be the assistant flower girl, and I felt offended at the offer. After I said no, they then said that Becky could give me $250 for it. Again no, and I returned the dress and got a full refund. I told them I understand that it's their wedding, but they are being extremely disrespectful to me and I don't need to deal with it, and I'm not going to the wedding. Today my coworker says she has an extra round-trip plane ticket to go to Miami that she'll sell to me for half price, plus I would have to pay for half the hotel and I can go hang out with her in Florida. The only downside is that I'll be in Florida for the week of my brother's wedding. So will I be an idiot if I just go to a party in Miami instead of going to my brother's wedding? There's no update, so here's a few comments. Not the idiot. Go to Miami. A wedding is not an event where a soon-to-be sister-in-law and your own brother crap all over you and you smile and take it. Comment 2. Not the idiot, they disrespected you so you don't have to be there if you don't want to. They literally removed you as a bridesmaid after they had you spend so much money. I'm proud of you for returning the dress instead of letting them walk all over you and take it for free. You might not be able to ever be close with this brother if he finds out you chose partying in Miami over his wedding. Also may affect what parents/other family think of you. But not sure if any of that is relevant. Comment 3. Not the idiot. They treated you with such disrespect that even if you didn't have a better offer, not going to the wedding is still the right choice. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.